European as well. Doesn't make its way to Washington as much, although there's that kickoff. Look at GFS, a little bit more of the system that approaches the Pacific Northwest here, but again, this may have its main energy focus down in towards California here. And as we scroll off into the extended, you can see we're not looking at any great snow patterns through the extended coming up there. We're going to do a week system, but that's 10 days out, not even really worth talking about. Now here we are looking at North American model. Again, that cold air across Alaska here, they showed you, and you saw the big ridge here, very warm air in the atmospheric river, the low pressure center there, very warm air over the Pacific Northwest. 4 straight days, 60+ degree temperatures for Seattle. Cold air dropping down on the backside, passing that frontal system through California. Put that into motion, and you can see we're not getting much help from this colder air back into the Pacific Northwest. You can see it stays bottom up to the north and continued storms down into California over the next week or so, potentially also. Now, looking at the national weather models, you can see again into the mid-50s for a lot of areas here, but probably the last day that we're getting to the mid or upper 50s here. As you can see, we drop those temperatures down as we go through tomorrow on Friday, Saturday back towards 50 degrees. A little better cooler air arriving finally. I mean, we need it though. The snowpack is really camera across some of the Pacific Northwest here, dropping the temperatures back down to the upper 40s as we go through next week. If you look at that, we got 3 straight days of 61. We still hit 60 yesterday. That was a record high. We missed it by 1 degree. We had 3 straight record high days, and pretty interesting stuff. Look at that, 61 for 3 straight days, and 60 and 50. And the overnight lows have not been down below 50. I think it dropped below 50 a little bit this morning here, so finally it's down below 50 degrees here for the first time in what, about 4 days. And we finished with 6.31 inches of precipitation, actually above average. I don't know if it's doing this, but it's not bad. Now taking a look at the low pressure center off the coastline here. This is the European hot off the coast here, 100-meter wind speeds. Some breezy, gusty winds at times for Vancouver Island, Washington, Oregon coast, coastal areas, maybe across a little bit of the northwest interior here as we're going through the day today up to Strait of Georgia. But, not much to write home about. Coastal pressure center continues to fill and weaken, moving down the coastline. Again, maybe some breezy winds down the Oregon coast, but nothing too crazy. And then that's going to merge up with the next system into California. Now, taking a look at total snow, the ratio on inches. This is European on the left versus the GFS on the right. So let's put this into motion, and you can see a little bit of snow flying for the highest terrain. Not too big of a deal. Then you can see this precip coming for Idaho, Montana, some of the BC Rockies, both the European and the GFS, trying to get towards the North Cascades a little bit here. But as you can see, not a big snow mix with the Cascades and Rockies and Oregon. Then the next system kind of moves through here. Actually, we back up, and you kind of see the GFS shows a little bit better snow out of the storm that's going to move into California versus the European, lesser amounts here. And we scroll to the future, about 135 hours, and not much in the way of snowmaking here for the Pacific Northwest. But of course, we're going to check back daily and continue to check in on that. Here's the Washington snowtel, and again, we've chopped a little bit off this again. You remember yesterday was a 33, and we chopped some of these percentages down a bit across Washington State. Same thing with Oregon as well. Not doing too bad across southeast portions here, but a lot of areas have dropped down below average for Oregon. Northern Idaho not doing too well. And then you can see yesterday, if you remember, 36% we were at, now down to 35% there for the snow in British Columbia. So yeah, we really did a number on it with this very warm air mass moving up over this area. This is 8 to 14 days, so kind of that signal for below average here, but again, we're not looking at any dynamic systems just yet. Open, fingers crossed. We're going to check back daily and try to see if we can get that to change. Here's 8 to 14 day precipitation, kind of near normal here, no strong signal. And if you want an extra portable home weather station, click on that link down below to save 10% off solar power to make sure you keep your weather station out of the effects of the vegetation blocking your solar power so it can charge up. It's got lightning detection system, it's got ultrasonic anemometer, it's got temperature. But it actually does pretty well. It's much more expensive weather equipment. So highly recommend this station. Again, click on that link down below to save 10% off. But yeah, I go through a low pressure center there. Maybe some good wave watching on the coastline out there, and let's get some lenticular cloud activity. And there might be a few breaks out there right now, especially across the coastal areas. Maybe those move inland as we go through the day today. Might get a little peak of sunshine out there. And still some fairly warm temperatures out there to be had. I mean, we're calling for 57 for Seattle today. Yeah, but that'll break our string of 4 straight days at 60 plus for CTAC. Pretty intense. The warmth here for January. It's been summer in January out here. I mean, I saw some ants on my deck rolling around. Some mosquitoes are out there. Things are just coming to life. So we'll see how that goes. See if we can get some cold air down here at some point in February, maybe, and shake things up again. But anyway, yeah, we'll continue to break this down day by day. I'll probably do a live stream either tomorrow or Saturday for the California Weather Channel. If you're going to join me for that, go ahead, and because they're getting some pretty dynamic weather. And they got this powerful frontal system. They've really saturated the state, and then they're just going to have this monster barrel into the state as well, into their powerful atmospheric river. So if you want to join me for one of those live streams, I'd be glad to see you in there. Otherwise, yeah, I hope you guys are liking these videos. We will do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then. Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is February 1st. Happy February to everybody out there taking a look at the infrared satellite imagery. BC, Washington, Oregon still have this southerly flow coming up across the area, bringing some light rain, some moderate times for some areas. Not too much here. The big atmospheric river stuff is mostly dead, but some big totals up across Canada. It's really kind of been hard on the snowpack there, and across the Washington Cascades, down through Oregon as well. Idaho not doing too hot either. We'll dive into some of those details we go through the video here today, as we've had some very warm air, as you can really see how it's just come out of the south here. Look at the system. It's much of Canada as well. Some very cold air actually across Alaska. That's been dropping down on the back side of this big mid-latitude cyclone, and it's what's powering this cold front through the state of California as we speak. But not much of that is getting into the Pacific Northwest, as you can see. We don't have any organized storm systems off into our extended. We'll take a look at that. I'll show you one system that's going to try to get in here a bit, but it may be targeted as California. Anyway, we'll dive into some of those details we go through the video for this morning. We kind of had summertime here at the end, we had summertime in January here at the end of the month. It was some pretty warm days wrapping up the month of January, and I'll show you that here in a moment as well. So you can see the spin off the coastline here, the colder air moving down towards California, and again, some light precipitation continuing off and on. I may try to go out there and get some interesting wave action clouds. Maybe some lenticular will be out there. We'll see how that goes for the afternoon. But we've got some elevated wave issues also, some hazard surf conditions. There's surf advisory for some of the Oregon coastline as well, and there's increased wave activity all the way up through British Columbia also. This is the European hot off the presses. Again, you can see our low pressure center there. It is filling, but it still spins off the coastline here, bringing some weak impulses up north with it. And then this is going to kind of weaken and again to drop south and bring a pretty dynamic storm into California here. There is some rapid around snowfall occurring across some of the Rockies of Montana and Idaho that will be beneficial. Some of that's trying to reach back towards Washington as well, but you can see it's not a lot here. And then we swap into the extended a little bit more, and then another system tries to make its way down. Let me update that, in fact, when we go back out. And you'll see right at the end of the run here, another system tries to come down, but it may have its eyes on California instead of the Pacific Northwest. No big snowmaker in our future just quite yet. I keep waiting to see if we get some changes to show up. But this is the GFS as well, same map. Again, our low pressure center spinning, filling off the coastline here. And again, showing some of that moisture for Idaho and Montana, trying to wrap back around a little bit. The BC Rockies picking up a bit of snow out of that also. But you can see not much for the Washington Cascades or for British Columbia. Some of this, the storm system in California tries to ride up back into Oregon on the GFS, a little bit on the European as well. Doesn't make its way to Washington as much also as that kicks off. We get GFS a little bit more of the system that approaches the Pacific Northwest here, but again, this may have its main energy focused down in towards California here. And as we roll off into the extended, you can see we're not looking at any great snow patterns through the extended coming up there. Maybe a weak system, but that's 10 days out, not even really worth talking about. Now here we are looking at North American model. Again, that cold air across Alaska here, as I showed you, and we saw the big ridge here and the very warm air in the atmospheric river, the low pressure center there. Very warm air over the Pacific Northwest. 4 straight days of 60+ degree temperatures for Seattle. Cold air dropping down the backside, passing that frontal system through California. Put that into motion, and you can see we're not getting much help from this colder air back into the Pacific Northwest. You can see it stays bottled up to the north, and continued storms down into California over the next week or so, potentially also. Now, looking at the national weather models, you can see again into the mid-50s for a lot of areas here, but probably the last day that we're getting to the mid or upper 50s here. As you can see, we chopped some of those temperatures down as we go through tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, back towards 50 degrees. A little bit of cooler air arriving finally. I mean, we need it though. The snowpack has just absolutely been hammered across some of the Pacific Northwest here, and dropping the temperatures back down to the upper 40s as we go through next week. And if you look at SeaTac, look at that. 3 straight days at 61, and we still hit 60 yesterday. That was not a record high. We missed it by 1 degree. So we had 3 straight record high days, and pretty interesting stuff. Look at that, 61 for 3 straight days, and 60 and 50. The overnight lows have not been down below 50. I think it dropped below 50 a little bit this morning here, so finally it's down below 50 degrees here for the first time in about 4 days. And we finished with 6.31 inches of precipitation, actually above average for the month of January, so that's not bad there. Now taking a look at the low pressure center off the coastline here. This is the European hot off the presses here, 100-meter wind speeds. Some breezy, gusty winds at times for Vancouver Island, Washington, Oregon coast, coastal areas, maybe across a little bit of the northwest interior here as we're going through the day today up the Strait of Georgia. But, not much to write home about. This low pressure center continues to fill and weaken, moving down the coastline. Again, maybe some breezy winds down the Oregon coast, but nothing too crazy. And then that's going to merge up with the next system into California. Now taking a look at total snow, the variation on inches, it's European on the left versus the GFS on the right. So let's put this in the motion, and you can see a little bit of snow flying for the highest terrain, not too big of a deal. Then you can see the precip coming for Idaho, Montana, some of the BC Rockies, both the European and the GFS. And then you push North Cascades a little bit here. So you can see not a big snow there, just the Cascades of Washington, Oregon. Then the next system kind of moves here, actually back up. You can see the GFS with a little bit better snow out of the storm. It's going to move into California versus the European left on that. So still on the speed for 135 hours. And not much in the way of snow making it to the Pacific Northwest. But of course, we're going to check back in and continue to check down on that. Here's the Washington snow belt. And again, where we jumped a little bit off this again. Remember yesterday was 33 and we cut some of these percentages down a bit across Washington State. Same thing with Oregon as well. Not doing too bad across southeast portions here, but a lot of areas have dropped down below average for Oregon. Northern Idaho not doing too well, and you can see yesterday, if you remember, 36% we were at, now we're down under 35% there for the snow in British Columbia. So yeah, we really did a number on it. It was very warm air mass moving up over the area. This is 8 to 14 days, so kind of that signal for below average here, but again, we're not looking at any dynamic systems just yet. Open, fingers crossed. We're going to check back daily.